Debt comes in many ways, such as car loans, credit cards, personal loans, student loans, or mortgages. No matter how you have it, sometimes people just feel like they need help. Today we're talking about blasting away that debt so that you see some of this, getting rid of it, and you get to feel like this, relaxed and calm. Question is, how are we going to handle this? There are many strategies to pay off debt, such as the debt snowball, debt avalanche, and debt consolidation. Today's episode is talking about the debt avalanche. What's the plan with the debt avalanche? The debt avalanche strategy is simple. Pay off the highest interest rate debts first, because they are the scariest. The advantages of the debt avalanche is that it's one of the fastest methods of paying off debt. And overall, you'll be paying the least amount of interest, so it'll be the least amount of time you'll have to be seeing people asking you for their monthly payments. The disadvantages, however, is that it can take a lot of discipline to get past the first hurdle with the high interest rate. If you like progressive improvements, check out my video on the debt snowball instead. Now let's get it tumbling with the debt avalanche. We have three sources of debt. We have our student loans, we have the credit cards, and we have the mortgage. With the debt avalanche, we're targeting the interest rates. So student loans has 5%, credit cards has 30%, and the mortgage has 7%. So our targeting order is credit cards first, then the mortgage, and then finally the student loans. So while we're paying off the credit cards as fast as we can, we obviously still need to pay the monthlies on the student loans and mortgage. However, we're going to do everything we can to pay more than the monthly on the credit cards to pay it off as fast as possible. The debt avalanche looks to get rid of as much interest payment as possible. So when we see that 30% interest compounding on the $10,000 we have in credit card debt, that is a huge issue. Here's the danger of high interest rates. Let's say that you have your 30% interest rate on the credit card debt at $10,000. If you just totally ignored it and you let it compound for 3 years, then that would mean that the future value over 3 years would amount to $21,970. Whereas compared to a 7% interest rate with the same $10,000 in the balance, compounding for the same number of years, means your future value would only be $12,250.43. So as you can see, there is a ginormous difference in the amount of interest you have to pay if you just let the high interest rate start accumulating over time and not paying it off as fast as possible. Let's get this example going. Let's say that we did everything we could to pay off the credit cards as fast as possible, and now we no longer have the minimum $150 monthly payment, and we no longer have the interest accruing on top of itself, causing issues. What that means is now we maintain the momentum of as fast as we paid off the credit cards, plus now we have this additional $150 going to the highest interest rate that's going next, which in this case is the mortgage. So it's the extra bonus of $150 payment towards that loan also. Then after that gets paid off, we have our credit cards paid off completely and our mortgage. What that means is that we have the $800 from the mortgage, since we no longer have to pay that, in addition to the $150 that we previously didn't have to pay any more of because we did that as fast as possible. And now we only have to make the payments towards the student loans, and it's as if we have an extra $950 payment towards that loan as well. Then we get to the final stage. The student loans are paid off, the credit cards are paid off, and the mortgage is paid off. So now you can say to yourself, here's an extra $1,250 payment towards whatever I want. And now you can take a breather because after all, you've completely paid off your loans and you're totally debt free.